And I think we're live. My name is Chris Evers. This is Animal Embassy, and I am broadcasting from the mothership today. And it's spring, so I thought I would share with you all a couple of amphibians. I thought I'd start with one that I have right here. It's called an axolotl. Axolotls are in the mole salamander family. Mole salamanders, as their name suggests, spend a lot of their life underground. So this is a very unique species of salamander that actually does not go through a complete metamorphosis. These guys are stunted in their metamorphosis, so they actually don't complete it and become a salamander as we would expect. They stay in sort of a larval stage. Now I'm going to bring her out of the water so that you can see her. She's a leucistic individual, so she's not like the others, but I've heard that from my mother before, once or twice. She's very unique. Her coloration is not as it should be. She was born with a genetic characteristic called leucism, so she doesn't have the camouflage that she would normally have, so she would be vulnerable to predators. These animals are amazing. They're studied by scientists and doctors alike because they have a unique ability throughout their life to actually regenerate body parts, including tail, feet, limbs, portions of their gills, and they've even discovered that they can regenerate portions of brain matter. So fascinating creature. It's an endangered species. They are aquatic throughout their life cycle, but they do have a primitive lung, so they're able to breathe out of water. So me having her out of water just now wasn't a risk to her. So it's in that mole salamander family, the Ambystoma family, and that's what our logo is. It's a spotted salamander, which is also a mole salamander, which is another species of salamander that lives locally. The axolotl is a species that would exist in Mexico and very few bodies of water near Mexico City. So critically endangered creature right there. This, however, is not. This rather round frog is an African bullfrog. African bullfrogs are the second largest species in the world. The largest, you might be wondering, is, you got it, the Goliath frog. And generally, if your name is Goliath, you're big. So African bullfrogs are the second largest. A lot of people look at this rather round or rotund frog and think that he has a weight issue. I've even had people look at him and say, ew, gross, it's a big fat frog. Well, he's not fat. He has to be like that. And the reason for this is because African bullfrogs have to deal with drought. They've got to be prepared for this inevitability. So they eat as much as they can. They get as big as they can, and then they dig a hole underground. They shed their skin one last time before they go to sleep, and that sleep, otherwise known as estivation, not hibernation, can last for as long as 2 or more years. There's a frog in Australia that can go for over 6. So some of those frogs won't have any idea of the horrific fires that burned above because they were estivating. Very much like hibernation, but it's to deal with something different. Hibernation is because water freezes, food availability is scarce, so they sleep until the conditions change. Estivation is because the water evaporates, and being an amphibian, if this animal gets too dry, he's going to die. Now, I did say African bullfrogs, it's actually the male that's larger than the female. That's very different from most frogs. Again, he's not like the others. The male is quite a bit larger, and I have a female just here. Give me a moment. So this is a female that I'm about to show you, and you'll see the big difference between the two. So the male, they don't really want to be together. Frogs can actually be cannibalistic, so we won't keep her too close to the male. Let's see if we can just get her to settle down there for a second. All right, so you can see the big difference in size. The reason the male is bigger is because he'll actually protect the tadpoles. So the female and the male go. He has to be there for the process. She lays the eggs. He fertilizes those eggs as she lays those eggs. It's external fertilization. That's as far as we'll go with that lesson for today. But after the female lays those eggs and he's fertilized them simultaneously, she disappears, he stays, he protects the tadpoles from predators, and he also will protect those eggs before they hatch. A scorpion could come and try to eat his tadpoles. He'll eat the scorpion. A baby cobra could come to try to eat one of his tadpoles. He eats the baby cobra. They have immunity to the venom. This is an amazing thing. And many people would look at him and say, ew, gross, it's a big fat frog. But this creature is designed to be the way he is so that he can survive. And it's one of the things that we often say on program. Animals are the way that they are because they are the way that they need to be. And why do they need to be that way? They've got to survive. So that's an African bullfrog, and this one's name is Jabba. The kids out there, depending on your age, may not know why his name is Jabba, but I'm sure that you adults out there, you know why his name is Jabba. Star Wars. A lot of these creatures that come from these movies, they had some basis in real life for their design and the concept. So that was a quick test. This is not the emergency broadcast system. This is Animal Embassy, and I'm Chris Evers, and thank you for participating in this test. I see that a number of you are out there. Tequila Yoon, nice to see you. Ile, excuse me if I get your names wrong, nice to see you there. Marlene Bauer, nice to see you. That's a familiar one. Join us again. This was a test. This was only a test, but I hope you enjoyed this test. Take care. Let's see if I can end this video. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Be safe out there.